Are we live?
Oh, it's loading. Just a moment.
Yeah, just let me know.
Okay. All right, now we're live. Okay. I'll send out the link. Just a moment.
Yeah, I can't share my screen, so might be, you need to enable that so I can share
Oh yeah,
my
sure.
screen at
I'm
some
going to
stage.
make you a host. Just a moment.
Mhm.
All right. And change the host.
Great.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay, so maybe just let me share my screen first. So are we ready? Are we good to go?
Yep.
Okay. So great. Nice to meeting the Korean Pagoda community here. So my name is Reitao. I'm one of the co-founder of the Acala projects. And today I'm gonna share you like what I have built for Acala and pretty much like what we have built for the DeFi layer for Polkadot. And I'm actually gonna walk through a set of demo with you guys. And afterwards, I'm happy to answer any question that you might ask. I'm actually going to just go through these slides with you to just give you a high level details overview of what we built. So hold on. Yeah, I don't think I can share that. Yeah, I can walk through like that. So the Acala network. The Acala network is the de facto standard DeFi hub and the stablecoin on Polkadot, and it's the position that we're currently consider is that we are the go-to stablecoin and the DeFi foundation layer for Polkadot. So we built a set of primitive to enable DeFi to be happening on Polkadot, and we were pretty much the financial hub of Polkadot. And pretty much like we are one of the most prominent project in the Polkadot space. We've been working on this project for almost over a year. I actually get to know about the substrate frameworks like about 2 years ago when it's still like very, very young. And we see how the substrate framework is to evolve in the past 2 years to today, that it's pretty much a very solid framework. You can pretty much launch it on blockchain with a few lines of code. So what we are, as I said, we are a premier project. We've been backed by probably more or all major ecosystem partners in the Polkadot space. We are granted by the Web3 Foundation. We are part of the Substrate Builder program, and extra, etc. And I think before we address like what is Acala, I would like to give a little bit address like why did we decided to build on top of Polkadot, like what actually Polkadot is. So the reason that we choose to build on top of Polkadot is pretty much like down to these three key points. So the first is the shared security model. Everyone can build their own custom blockchain, but how do you make sure this particular blockchain that you build is secure? When we talk about security, is that who actually provide this sort of like trustless verification for the project that you built. So on Ethereum, the security is provided by the miners. There's a lot of, it's pretty much already a decentralized network. On Polkadot, the shared security model is that whatever that you are building, you will be secure by the proof of stake network provided by Polkadot. So that's one of the reasons, because if you want to build something finance related, security is definitely one of the key, right? So you want to make sure that you build on a secure platform. And the other reason that we choose to build on top of Polkadot is this heterogeneous sharding. So pretty much like on Polkadot, you get to customize your blockchain. You can customize the blockchain down to the core level, which I will show what's possible when you actually customize the blockchain into core level. So that's one of the reasons that we choose to be on the Polkadot. And ultimately, there's also this governance pieces, which I think is the most important pieces of the Polkadot's offering. Like everything is decided by the token holders. Pretty much the chain can upgrade itself through the next stage by a set of like governance process. And this is something that's very, very unique in Polkadot. And I think it's actually one of the key pieces to bring Polkadot into something that's like major. So if we look at that, the Polkadot is already 5 billion in terms of valuation, and Kusama was already live, fully decentralized. I don't think I have to go through a lot of these impressive figures about why we choose to build on top of Polkadot. And like because with the story about like building on top of Polkadot, you pretty much get to customize the blockchain. So I mean, the Acala is pretty much a customized blockchain, few file and fully customized and fine-tuned for finance. And how do we do that? We built a set of primitive in the chain level. We built a set of primitive protocol right into the chain level and offer them as one of the built-in product of this particular shard. And you can see that we built a multi-capitalized stablecoin, pretty much is a decentralized stablecoin for Polkadot. We also built a staking derivative, and we built a decentralized exchange. And we also built an DAO to manage all the surplus of the network. And why did we choose to build these four protocols into the chain level? I mean, they work with each other, which I will show why we decided to build them together in the demo. And so pretty much like we already finished the building process. I mean, we are at almost like code complete status. So all the protocol that I mentioned is pretty much up and running in the testnet. Our testnet has been running for the past 3 months. It's already live out there. You're free to give it a try, which I will be sharing more information on how to test the testnet. And obviously, we've built the multi-collectible stablecoin. It's pretty much the centerpieces of this particular shard. So what it offers is AUSD, which is a decentralized stablecoin, characterized by locking up DOT, Kusama, Bitcoin, and more. So any sort of asset that will be available on top of Polkadot. And think about the Polkadot story about this interoperability. So we think there's going to be a lot of assets available on Polkadot. So all those assets, they can be used to, as long as they have enough liquidity, as long as they are solid, they can be used as capital to generate stablecoin. And that's the first set of protocol that we built. The second set of protocol that we built is the staking derivative. I think because we are talking with the Polkadot community, I'm pretty sure that you're already aware that if you are staking your dots, there's an unbounding period of 28 days on Polkadot, the unbounding period on Kusama 7 days. And how can you stake in a way that you can also have sort of liquidity for that? So what we built in this protocol is that you can stake through our power chain and in a trustless way by staking the dots into this staking pool. And what it does is that it gives you the L dot, which is the staking derivative. It's as good as the dot because it's staking through this set of like built-in smart contract. And the L dot itself is transferable and redeemable. So you don't have to unbound your dots when you need to transfer this stake dots. So I mean, this is like why did we choose to build this together is because they work very well with the stablecoin product that we built, which I will demo very soon. And ultimately, we also built a decentralized exchange into this particular shard. You can obviously, this decentralized exchange can be used for trading, but it also provide additional functionality, such as like when liquidation happens, the liquidation can happen automatically by hitting this decentralized exchange. And also, it's also the unified source of liquidity when you're actually transacting in this particular shard. So this decentralized exchange actually enable you to pay a network fee in any sort of token that as long as it has liquidity in the decentralized exchange. That means that if you have Bitcoin, if you have the like RMBDC in this particular shard in Acala, you can transact and pay RMBDC as the gas fee. You no longer have to acquire additional token to transact in this network, which is one huge user experience lift. So this is like pretty much of the set of core primitive protocol that we have built. And we've been running this testnet for like the past 3 months, and we have some very impressive figures from the communities. So I think there's at least there's quite a number of communities in Telegram. We have like 5,000 plus community members in our official Telegram. We have a lot of WeChat group, official WeChat group. We have a lot of community members. And the most impressive figure that we're able to demonstrate today is that during our testnet campaign, there's like 14,000 accounts that's created, and there's like 14, almost over 150,000 transactions being created on our testnet. So those are the figures that we're able to work like. So we already built a very solid community. There's also a set of partners that are committed to build with Acala. So RAM project is being one of the team that's committed to build with Acala. There's a lot of other teams that this set of partners growing, and we also have working with a number of other Pagoda projects as well. So Parsant, Band Protocol, Chainlink, we're all working with them. And I mean, this is growing because on Pagodas, we are the foundation layer enabling DeFi, and there's a lot of other projects built on top of us. So I'm gonna actually pause on this share of these slides here and actually jump right into the demonstration of how this product works, because up to this point we're talking about what we have built, and afterwards I'm gonna talk about what we're going to achieve after we go live. So this is the tab. So everyone, I mean, it's public information. Everyone can go into the tab and give it a test. And there's also this like get started article of like how you can get test tokens by going through our official Discord or Riot channel. You can get some test tokens. I'm going to share all this link in the Telegram channel. So this is the tab. It's already working. You can see you need to have this Polkadot.js extension installed, but it's working. And I'm going to go through the core offering one by one. So obviously the first one is the stablecoin pieces. So you can see I already have this account here. I'm already capitalizing 0.1 RMBTC, and I'm borrowing like $421. I can generate a little bit more loan because I already my capitalization ratio is still low. I can safely borrow a little bit more. So maybe I'm going to borrow $20 more. I'm going to press confirm, and this is where the Polkadot.js comes in. I just type in my password. So this is very similar to MetaMask, and it's very fast when you build your chain on top of Polkadot, and you can see this is already done. And we also integrated with Subscan, so you can see this is like happening real time on Subscan. You can see that I already characterized, and ultimately I get $20 more of USD deposit into my account. So this is pretty much the characterization stable coin. Once I have this stable coin, I can definitely use that. I can also pay back. I can also withdraw my crypto as long as it's safe. So I'm pretty safe at this stage. If I don't want to withdraw some Bitcoin, I can do that. And obviously, the stable coin that you created can be transferred to someone else. We have a little bit of wallet interface here. I can transfer my USD to other accounts, so I can do that. And this is like the stable coin. I can also create a new loan, so I can characterize my LDOT, which I'm gonna explain what LDOT is. So the LDOT is the next liquid dot, which is the staking protocol that we built. And this is pretty much the trustless way of staking your dots. So it's very similar to compounds. On compounds, you deposit your DAI, and then you get exchange, you get a share of the pool, and you get C DAI. So in this staking that we created here, you deposit dot, and in exchange, you get some L dots. The L dot is the yield bearing token for Polkadot, for Acala. So as long as you hold into L dots, you're actually staking. And the L dot will be redeemable for more dots as long as you hold it. So I'm gonna to exchange maybe like 0.2 dots to one, maybe to that exchange rate. So I'm gonna do that. So essentially what I'm doing is that I'm staking 0.2 dots. So after start the transaction, I will be obtaining a little bit more of L dots. And because the L dot is the share of this pool, so as long as I hold L dot, I'm staking. And if I want to exchange back, it's very easy. I can always choose to redeem a little bit of L dot. So maybe 10, I can get back 1 dot. And just keep in mind, this number will be keep increasing because as long as if you hold L dot, you're staking. And there's also an advanced interface as well, right? If you want to redeem your L dot back to dots, you can say that you want to redeem now. We also have this sort of convenient feature right now that you can actually redeem, you can unbound immediately, because we don't actually bound the full amount in this staking pool. There's always a tiny bit of like liquidity if you really need the dot now, as long as you pay a little bit of the protocol fee. You can also say that I'm happy to just wait for the standard unbounding period, which is like 28 days. And now I have L dots, I can freely transfer this stake dot to someone else. It's very convenient, and I think it's something that's very needed for the staking space in Polkadot. And the reason that we decided to create this L dots is because, hey, if you have dots and if you want to generate stable coins, you need to lock up your dots. For example, I have to lock up my dots right here, and I can lock up maybe like 0.1 dots, and I can generate maybe like, or maybe that's too less. I can generate maybe $1. But that comes with a cost. What's the cost? Is that this dot otherwise can be used for staking. So if you lock up your dot to generate a stablecoin loan, then you are giving out your staking rewards. But because with the L dot protocol, you don't actually have to do that, because you can exchange your dot to L dot first, and then you can then use your L dot as crypto to generate a loan. It's much easier that way, and also you will be earning the staking reward while you are taking a loan. So L dot is as good as the dots, and it can be used to generate stablecoin as well. So that's why we created these L dots and how they work with each other. And obviously, like this is like a number of pieces they're working with each other, and then ultimately there's these stacks. Why did we build these stacks right into the core of this blockchain? I mean, obviously you can use to trade. For example, you can trade AUSD with start, and you can trade pretty much like AUSD as long as there's liquidity. You can trade USD for Bitcoin. You can trade any sort of asset that will be available on Acala. You can also, as a liquidity provider, you can provide liquidity in this system as well. So very similar to Uniswap. But it also provides two other functionality, which is like very unique. First is that if there's liquidation needed on this side, on the stablecoin side, and if say that my Bitcoin position actually become risky, the system can liquidate my Bitcoin automatically through the DEX. So that makes it all the liquidity can be used to safeguard the stablecoins characterization ratio. And one of the other reasons that we built this DEX as the unified source of liquidity, because we want to enable any sort of token to be type of like the first class asset. And I'm going to actually demonstrate in a way by changing it to another wallet. So I'm going to change this to a new account. And in this new account that I set up for this demo, I have no asset except REMBDC. And why? And this is a very, very common scenario. For example, if you have Bitcoin, you have never, and you are new to Acala, you have no other tokens, you have no dots, no Polkadot yet. How do you transact? And it's very easy for you to teleport some Bitcoin into this shard, and you only have REMBDC. And because there's unified source of liquidity for the gas fee, for the gas price, for the gas fee, I can actually transact. I'm paying REMBDC as my gas fee. So I'm going to actually create a stable along here, take the sum of my REMBDC, maybe 0.1 of it, and maybe take out a $200 loan. And I have no other token except REMBDC in Acala, and I can still transact. And this is like what happened under the hood is that the system actually liquidate fraction of my REMBDC and pay that for the gas fee. And if you actually go to the subscan here, you can see that in the middle of these exchanges, there's this DEX swap, and it liquidate fraction of my REMBDC and pay that as the gas fee. That means when transacting on top of Acala, you have the freedom to choose what sort of fee token that you are willing to pay. You can also say that if I want to transfer my AUSD, I can pay AUSD as the gas fee. I no longer have to obtain some token that I don't know what it is in order to transact in this particular parachain. So this is like one of the huge, how do I say, one of the huge user experience lift from otherwise, if you're transacting on Ethereum, when you need to transfer DAI, you have to pay Ether's gas fee. But with the ability to customize the blockchain down to its core, this is what we're able to offer. Right, so this is very unique, and this is very unique in Polkadot as well. So that's pretty much what we have built so far as a set of core offering in this shard, in this project. And let's go back to the slides here. Think about this project. It's also a full-fledged blockchain. So what we're trying to achieve next is that it's not only the financial primitive that we're offering, well, it's very important that we will have a lot of abstractions on the financial premise they're offering, but it's also a full patch blockchain. So Solidity smart contract or Ink smart contract and other developer can start to build on what we have built, right? So for example, RAN BTC, the RAN project, they built a bridge within the RAN VM and deploy that on Acala, and that's something that developer can start to build. Solidity smart contract can deploy once we enable the EVM capability. And I can see a lot of other projects to build on top of this project as well. And ultimately, we like to become something like the way that you deploy on Polkadot, or the way that you we see project going live on Polkadot is that they have a different way of deployment. As a Polkadot project, you can deploy as a project. You can also deploy a smart contract on top of a project. And ultimately, it's one of the bad thing on the Polkadot is that you can be in part of it in this ecosystem in many different ways. It all depends on your requirement as your project. For some project, it makes sense for them to become a blockchain, to become a full patch blockchain. For example, Acala is one of the example. For some other project, it makes sense for them to become like a dApp rather than a blockchain. For example, maybe like a lottery smart contract, or maybe like a very generic way of like, for example, like the shared savings smart contract. So those is like a number of different ways that you can deploy. And the way that we see that is that you can deploy as a blockchain, you can deploy on Acala as well, you can deploy as a core module, you can deploy as a smart contract. So the possibilities actually it's limitless. And ultimately, we'd like to see how the Polkadot ecosystem evolves, right? So it's the relay chain, and on Acala, this could be a number of dApps that build on top of Acala. And then Acala can also be talking to other projects by the XCMP protocol provided by Polkadot. So this is how we see that ultimately how the Polkadot ecosystem will mature and grow to something like that. And we're talking about the launch plan here of the Acala network. I mean, currently we're live on the testnet, so the testnet is pretty much live. And for our deployment, for our go live plan, we will actually deploy very similar to how Polkadot deploys. So we're actually going to become a project on Kusama first, and then at some stage, once the project functionality is enabled on Kusama, we'll go for a project on Kusama. And then once the project functionality is enabled on Polkadot, we'll go for the deployment on Polkadot, and we will consider our Kusama deployment as an canary network for Acala as well. So we're going to maintain two networks, very similar to how Polkadot maintained Kusama and maintained Polkadot. And I mean, obviously, there's a set of we have a set of partners to help us to grow to the next stage. And some of the partners here, they are very influential player in the current DeFi space. They can help us to bring liquidity, to bring the initial traction needed to bootstrap these networks. So that's pretty much the whole walkthrough of what we have built, and including the quick demo that I just showed. And obviously, all the asset, all the stuff that I talked about today is available on GitHub. So we pretty much follow the standard open source way of development. And if you actually click on this link right now and then go to GitHub, you can see that development is happening every day. You can see that we have like very frequent commit to all this set of our repositories. And we also maintain a very nice wiki page where you can look for a lot of information. For example, if you want to have testnet tokens, how do you get that, or things like that. So pretty much all the information is on GitHub. And we also created a set of utility too. So as a developer, you can also integrate with some of our utility, or like the toolkit SDK type of stuff as well. So this is the Acala.js, the dApp, and things like that. So I think that's pretty much the walkthrough of what we built, and including the demo. I'm not sure if there's any questions in Q&A on the Telegram channels. I'm definitely going to share all these links that I talk about by the Telegram channel, and yeah, happy to answer any sort of questions.
Okay, now the question time. So deploying a core module in Acala, does that mean that I can make my own runtime module and then like build a runtime in the Acala and then submit a set code proposal?
Yes. So, I mean, this
Uh,
is like, actually, I'm going to go to this slide here. I mean, I'm going to explain a little bit about this. So to deploy as a core module, it is actually initially it's actually permissioned. So that means that because you are deploying a set of blockchain code as a third party, and you have access to the whole state, so it has to be security audited, and it has to be go through this governance process to be agreed by the governance process. And I mean, from the technical point of view, yes, if you want to deploy as a core module, it would be like an on-chain upgrade. It's actually like, it makes sense for some project to deploy as a core module. For example, if you are bridge, then it makes a lot of sense to deploy as a core module. If you're something that's like infrastructure, very needed on a chain level, then it makes sense to deploy as a core module. But most of the time, it makes a lot of sense to deploy as a smart contract rather than a core module. So we will see this sort of like the core module deployment is that something that we will be a little bit more conservative initially, before we actually reach a true state of decentralization, and it always have to go through the governance process. Otherwise, I mean, if it's a trustless way of deployment, everyone can deploy a contract and pretty much write some incorrect state into the blockchain, right? So I hope that answered the question.
okay. So the huge question about is how do we get Acala to join this testnet?
Okay, so how do you get so there's like, if you go to the Discord channel, right? The get started is that how do so get a test faucet. You can see that in here there's the testnet faucet, and you need to join this Polka DeFi Discord, which is available on the official website, Acala.network. You can
No need to
you
panic.
can join this web. You can go to the official website, and the media link is in here. You can join Discord, and once you join Discord, yeah, once you join Discord, you need to create a wallet. So, for example, if I have this brand new account, right, and so then I will just copy that. I need to copy, and when you have a brand new account, you just go to this Acala tab, and you can see your account address, right? And you copy the address. Go to this Discord channel or the Riot channel. I think Discord is more convenient. And go to this faucet and just tell the bot to give you some money. So I'm gonna say Jip. And I think the bots sometimes, I mean, we have a lot of requests every day, right? Sometimes it's broken. I'm not sure if it's broken right now. If it's broken, just give us a message on Discord. We're gonna fix that. It looks like the bot is out of service again. So maybe you can, I'm gonna actually try the routes as well. So we have similar bots running on routes. So give me some money, please. Well, I mean, yeah, and you can see that the route bot is working, and it just said in semi 2 ACA and 200 USD. And then if you actually go back to see if I did get that right, so I have like 200 2000 USD and 2 ACA. And as long as you have the USD, you can go to the DEX to buy stuff, and then you can give it a test. You can buy dots and make sure you go to capitalize it or things like that. So this is like how you get the testnet token. And I think that the Discord bot is not working at this stage. We're gonna fix that very soon.
Okay. Cool. All right. So this question is not that it's for like investors who wants to invest into your network. They want to know the schedule for your IPO and when to host your coins in the exchanges.
Oh, okay. So we actually, when we actually launch the network, we're gonna run the IPO, which is the initial production offering. That's pretty standard in Polkadot, right? So we are in a very in a very close of like releasing an IPO website. And what you need to do is that I would suggest that if you want to keep updated, you can follow us on Twitter, or you can subscribe to the newsletter. So we have in our official website, we have a newsletter. If you subscribe to that, we will definitely let you know, send out an email when we are ready to launch the IPO. And then we have this special website just for the IPO coming up to explain what you need to do and how you stack your dots to get some ICI back. And we also would make sure there's enough time to tell you that you need to unbound the dots, because like I think a lot of dot holders, a lot of KSM holders, they pretty much have the dot staked, right? And they have their KSM staked. If you want to stake and go through the IPO process, you need to unbound those KSM and those dot first. We'll make sure that you have enough time to unbound before we start the IPO. We don't have a definite time frame yet, but we think on Kusama, that's very, very close. If you follow on the latest release from Web3 Foundation, that should give you a much clearer date on when IPO will become available. But we think the Kusama IPO is very, 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 very close, maybe within 1 or 2 months. And then we'll try to go live and for going live by the end of this year on Polkadot. So if you subscribe onto our newsletter, you will always get the first-hand information, or maybe just follow our Twitters.
Okay. All right. Seems like there are no questions right now.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for the interview. I think we should end the AMA right here. Yep. All right. Thank you
Okay,
for
thanks a lot.
watching. Yep.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.